Uranus asterisk, the ice giant asterisk. Introduction. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun, located between Saturn and Neptune. It is known as an ice giant, alongside Neptune, because of its large amounts of water, ammonia, and methane ices in its atmosphere and interior. Uranus is unique for its sideways rotation, which makes its axis tilted at about 98 degrees. It practically rolls around the Sun on its side, asterisk. Basic facts about Uranus. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun and is classified as an ice giant, along with Neptune. Its distance, size, and composition make it very different from the inner rocky planets like Earth or Mars. Below are the most important facts explained in detail. Position in the solar system. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun. Average distance from the Sun, 2.9 billion kilometers, 1.8 billion miles. It takes sunlight about 2 hours and 40 minutes to reach Uranus. Size and dimensions. Diameter equatorial, about 50,724 kilometers, 31,518 miles, making it the third largest planet in our solar system. Its size is about 4 times the diameter of Earth, and it could fit 63 Earths inside its volume. Mass and gravity. Uranus is 14.5 times more massive than Earth, but its density is much lower because it's made mostly of gases and ices. Surface gravity, around 8.69 meters per second squared, which is slightly weaker than Earth's. You would weigh about 90% of your Earth weight on Uranus. Orbit. Year length. Uranus takes about 84 Earth years to complete one orbit around the Sun. This means one Uranian year equals nearly a full human lifetime. Rotation. Day length. A day on Uranus is about 17 hours and 14 minutes. Interestingly, Uranus rotates in the opposite direction compared to most planets' retrograde rotation. Axial tilt. Uranus is tilted by 98 degrees, meaning it basically rolls around the Sun on its side. This extreme tilt causes very unusual seasons. Each pole experiences 42 years of continuous daylight, followed by 42 years of continuous darkness. Atmosphere and appearance. Main components: 82% hydrogen, 15% helium, 2% methane. The methane gas absorbs red light and reflects blue-green light, which gives Uranus its pale cyan color. Atmospheric winds can reach 900 km at Oha, 560 mph. Temperature. Uranus is one of the coldest planets in the solar system. Average temperature, around 224 degrees Celsius, 371 degrees Fahrenheit, closing parenthesis. This makes it colder than Neptune at times. Despite being closer to the Sun, rings. Uranus has 13 faint rings. Discovered in 1977, they are dark, narrow, and mostly made of small, carbon-rich particles, much less visible than Saturn's rings. Moons. Uranus has at least 27 known moons. The 5 largest are Miranda, Ariel, Umbrio, and Oberon. They are named after characters from William Shakespeare and Alexander Pope's writings. Exploration only. One spacecraft has visited Uranus, Voyager 2, which flew by in 1986. It provided the first close-up pictures of Uranus, its moons, and its rings. Uranus is a giant icy world, tilted dramatically on its side, with faint rings, fast winds, extreme cold, and dozens of moons. It stands out as one of the most mysterious and least explored planets in our solar system. Asterisk. Structure and composition of Uranus. Asterisk. Uranus, unlike rocky planets such as Earth or Mars, is classified as an ice giant. Its structure is divided into layers, but unlike Jupiter or Saturn, it has much more ice water, methane, ammonia, than gas. Scientists believe Uranus's interior is complex and mysterious, since no spacecraft has orbited it yet. Here's the detailed breakdown. Core. At the very center, Uranus has a small rocky core. The size of the core is estimated to be only 0.55 to 0.8 times Earth's mass. Unlike Earth's solid metallic core, Uranus's core is a mix of rock and ice, surrounded by dense, icy materials. The temperature at the core could reach for 700 degrees Celsius, 500 degrees Fahrenheit, very hot compared to the frozen outer layers. Mantle icy layer above the core lies a thick mantle made up of icy substances, such as water HO ammonia, NH methane shane. This mantle is not like solid ice, but a hot, dense, slushy fluid, almost like a super thick ocean of chemicals. Scientists believe this mantle might create an environment where diamond rain forms, as carbon atoms get compressed into crystals under high pressure. Atmosphere. The outermost layer of Uranus is its atmosphere, which gradually blends into the icy mantle. Main gases in the atmosphere: hydrogen 82%, helium 15%, methane 2%. Trace amounts of water, vapor, and other hydrocarbons also exist. The methane gas absorbs red light from the sun and reflects blue and green, giving Uranus its blue-green color. Winds in the atmosphere can blow at speeds of up to 900 kilometers per hour, 560 miles per hour, creating storms and cloud patterns. Magnetic field generation. Unlike Earth, Uranus's magnetic field is not generated from a metallic core. Instead, it is believed to form in the icy mantle layer, where ionic water and ammonia conduct electricity. This causes Uranus's magnetic field to be tilted 59 away from its rotation axis and offset from the planet's center. One of the strangest magnetic fields in the solar system. Heat and energy balance. Most planets emit more heat than they receive from the sun. But Uranus is unusual. It emits very little internal heat. Its internal heat is weaker than Neptune's, despite being similar in size. Scientists are still trying to understand why it could be due to a violent past collision that tilted the planet and released much of its heat. Uranus' structure is layered into a small rocky core, a slushy icy mantle, and a gaseous atmosphere rich in hydrogen, helium, and methane. Its blue-green color, unusual magnetic field, and extremely low internal heat make it one of the strangest planets in our solar system. Asterisk. Importance of Uranus's magnetic field and radiation. Asterisk. Uranus's magnetic field is one of the most unusual and puzzling in the solar system. Unlike Earth, Jupiter, or Saturn, whose magnetic fields are more aligned with their rotation axes, Uranus's magnetic field is tilted, lopsided, and offset, which makes it scientifically very important to study. Tilted magnetic field. Uranus's magnetic field is tilted by about 59 degrees from its rotation axis. For comparison, Earth's magnetic field tilt is only 11 degrees. Jupiter's is almost perfectly aligned. This large tilt makes Uranus's magnetosphere, the region controlled by its magnetic field, highly irregular, offset from the center. Your magnetic field is not centered like Earth's. It is shifted by about 1/3 of the planet's radius away from its center. This means the magnetic field is stronger in some regions and weaker in others, unlike most other planets where it is evenly distributed. Source of the magnetic field on Earth. The magnetic field is generated in the molten iron core on Uranus. It is believed to come from electrically conducting fluids in the icy mantle, a mix of water, ammonia, and methane under extreme pressure. This unusual origin explains why Uranus's magnetic field is so oddly shaped. Dynamic magnetosphere. The magnetosphere of Uranus is very asymmetric because of the tilt. It flaps and shifts as Uranus rotates, unlike Earth's relatively stable field. Voyager 2 found that Uranus's magnetic tail, the part stretching away from the sun, is twisted into a corkscrew shape due to the planet's sideways rotation. Radiation belts. Uranus has radiation belts, similar to Earth's Van Allen belts, but they are less intense compared to Jupiter's powerful radiation zones. These belts trap charged particles like electrons and protons. The radiation levels are still strong enough to damage spacecraft electronics, if not properly shielded. Auroras on Uranus, just like Earth and Jupiter. Uranus also has auroras, northern and southern lights. However, they are much fainter and harder to detect. The unusual magnetic tilt causes auroras to appear at unexpected locations, not directly at the poles like Earth's. Importance for science: studying Uranus's magnetic field helps scientists understand how magnetic fields form in ice giants. Compare it with Earth's, Jupiter's, and Neptune's fields. Prepare for future missions by knowing the radiation environment. It also provides clues about Uranus's interior structure, since the field originates deep inside the planet. Your magnetic field is tilted, offset, and twisted, making it unlike any other planet in the solar system. Its dynamic magnetosphere, radiation belts, and faint auroras highlight the complexity of ice giants and provide a natural laboratory for understanding planetary magnetism. Asterisk. Moons of Uranus. Asterisk. Uranus has a fascinating collection of 27 known moons, most of which are named after characters from the works of William Shakespeare and the poet Alexander Pope. These moons are diverse, ranging from small, irregular objects to large icy worlds with signs of past geological activity. Major moons of Uranus. The 5 largest moons are the most important and well studied. Miranda, smallest of the 5 major moons. Diameter 471 kilometers, 293 miles. Known for its strange surface features, including giant cliffs, canyons, and ridges. The Verona Rupes, a cliff on Miranda, is believed to be the tallest cliff in the solar system, up to 20 kilometers, 12 miles. High. Scientists think Miranda's odd landscape may have formed due to past geological activity, possibly caused by tidal heating. Aerial diameter 1,158 kilometers, 720 miles. Brightest and most reflective of Uranus's large moons. Surface shows evidence of valleys, ridges, and fault lines, suggesting it was once geologically active. Some regions suggest resurfacing by icy flows. Umbrial diameter 1,169 kilometers, 726 miles. Darkest of the large moons, with a heavily cratered surface. Appears older and less geologically active than Ariel or Miranda. Has a mysterious bright ring feature inside one large crater, possibly caused by ice deposits. Titania, largest moon of Uranus. Diameter 1,57 082 km 981 miles. Surface has large canyons and valleys, indicating past tectonic activity. The massive Messina Chasma canyon stretches for 1,500 kilometers, 930 miles. Titania may have a subsurface ocean of liquid water beneath its icy crust. Oberon's second largest moon. Diameter 1,523 kilometers, 947 miles. Dark, heavily cratered surface with many ancient features. Appears geologically inactive, but bright ejecta around craters suggests subsurface ice. Like Titania, Oberon may also have an underground ocean. Smaller moons. Uranus has many smaller moons. Most of them are regularly shaped. They orbit at different distances and include moons like Puck, Portia, Juliet, Rosalind, Belinda, and Cressida. These smaller moons likely formed from leftover material around Uranus, or were captured objects. Irregular moons. Outer moons. Uranus also has a group of tiny, distant moons, with irregular, tilted, or eccentric orbits. These are thought to be captured asteroids, or Kuiper belt objects. Naming traditional, like most planets, whose moons are named after gods from mythology. Uranus's moons are named from Shakespeare's plays and Pope's poem The Rape of the Lock. Example: Ariel. Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon are Shakespearean characters. Belinda and Umbriel appear in Pope's poem. Exploration of the moons. Most information about Uranus's moons comes from the Voyager 2 flyby in 1986. Telescopes, like the Hubble Space Telescope and ground-based observatories, have added more details since then. However, Uranus's moons remain largely unexplored, and scientists believe future missions may reveal oceans, geological activity, and more. The moons of Uranus form a diverse system, from the bizarre, fractured surface of Miranda to the massive canyons of Titania and Oberon's icy craters. Together, they make Uranus's moon system one of the most intriguing and underexplored in the solar system. Asterisk rings of Uranus. Asterisk Uranus, like Saturn, has a system of rings, but they are much fainter, darker, and narrower. These rings make Uranus one of only a few planets in the solar system known to have such a system, the others being Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. Discovery of the rings. Rings of Uranus were discovered in 1977, when astronomers noticed that a star briefly dimmed several times as Uranus passed in front of it, evidence of ring material blocking the light. Later, the Voyager 2 spacecraft 1986 and the Hubble Space Telescope confirmed and studied them in more detail. Number of rings. Uranus has at least 13 distinct rings. Some are bright and narrow, while others are faint and dusty. They are much darker and less reflective than Saturn's bright icy rings. Appearance and composition. The rings are mostly made of dark particles, probably composed of water, ice mixed with radiation-darkened organic material. The particles are small, ranging from micron-sized dust grains to boulders several meters across. The darkness of the rings suggests they may contain a lot of carbon-rich material. Main rings. The rings are divided into two groups. Inner 9, narrow rings, sharp and well-defined. Outer 2, dusty rings, fainter and more spread out. Some of the more notable rings: Epsilon ring, the brightest and densest of Uranus's rings. Delta, Gamma, Beta, and Alpha rings, narrow, sharp-edged rings, located inward of the Epsilon ring. Nu and Mu rings, dusty outer rings, discovered later by the Hubble Space Telescope. Shepherd moons. Some of Uranus's small moons, called shepherd moons, help shape and confine the rings by their gravity. The moons Cordelia and Ophelia act as shepherds for the Epsilon ring. Why are the rings so dark? Unlike Saturn's icy bright rings, Uranus's rings reflect very little light. Scientists believe this could be due to radiation darkening from charged particles, a high concentration of carbon-rich material, less ice and more rock compared to Saturn's rings. Future studies. Because Uranus is so far away, detailed study of its rings is still limited. A future Uranus orbiter mission could reveal how the rings formed, whether from shattered moons, captured objects, or leftover material from Uranus's formation. Uranus's rings are dark, faint, and narrow, unlike Saturn's brilliant system, with 13 known rings shaped by shepherd moons. They represent one of the most mysterious ring systems in the solar system and remind us that Saturn is not the only planet with beautiful rings. Asterisk exploration of Uranus. Asterisk. Uranus is one of the most mysterious planets in the solar system because it has been visited only once by a spacecraft. Most of what we know comes from that single encounter and from telescopic observations. Voyager 2 flyby 1986. Voyager 2 is the only spacecraft to have visited Uranus. It flew past Uranus on January 24, 1986, during its grand tour of the outer planets. Key discoveries made by Voyager 2: found 11 new moons of Uranus, discovered 2 new faint rings, collected detailed measurements of Uranus's atmosphere, magnetosphere, and radiation environment, captured the first close-up images of Uranus and its moons, revealing their surfaces. Voyager 2's closest approach was about 81,500 kilometers, 50,600 miles from Uranus's cloud tops. Hubble Space Telescope and ground observations. Since Voyager 2, Uranus has been studied using the Hubble Space Telescope, HST, and large ground-based observatories. Hubble detected auroras on Uranus. 2. Additional faint rings. Several small moons, infrared and radio telescopes have provided more details about Uranus's atmosphere and seasonal changes. Why exploration is difficult. Uranus is extremely far, about 2.9 billion kilometers, 1.8 billion miles from the Sun. A spacecraft would need at least 12 to 15 years to reach Uranus. Even with a Jupiter gravity assist, the planet receives little sunlight, making it challenging for solar-powered spacecraft. Nuclear power would be required. Its faint rings and complex magnetosphere add to navigation difficulties. Future mission proposals. Scientists strongly support sending another spacecraft to Uranus, since Voyager 2 only did a quick flyby. Some proposed missions include Uranus Orbiter and Probe Flagship mission, proposed by NASA as one of the top priorities for the 2023 to 2032 Decadal Survey, would include an orbiter to study Uranus over several years, an atmospheric probe to dive into Uranus's atmosphere and directly measure gases, winds, and pressure. Goals of future missions: study Uranus's internal structure and why it has such a strange tilt. Investigate the icy mantle where its magnetic field is generated. Explore the moons for evidence of subsurface oceans. Understand the rings and how they evolved. Search for seasonal changes in Uranus's atmosphere. Why exploring Uranus matters. Uranus and Neptune are the least explored major planets. They represent a class of worlds, ice giants, that may be the most common type of planet in our galaxy. Studying Uranus could help us understand how giant planets form, the role of icy materials in planetary systems. Exoplanets that are similar in size and composition to Uranus don't far. Voyager 2 1986 remains our only direct visitor to Uranus, but it gave us groundbreaking insights into the planet's atmosphere, rings, moons, and magnetosphere. Today, Uranus is considered a top target for a future mission, likely an orbiter with an atmospheric probe, which could unlock secrets not only about Uranus itself, but about countless similar worlds across the universe. Importance of Uranus in the solar system. Uranus is not just another distant ice giant. It plays a key role in balancing the solar system, shaping scientific understanding of planetary formation, and offering insights into the wider universe. Its unusual tilt, composition, and moon system make it scientifically invaluable. A unique ice giant, Turnus, along with Neptune, represents a different class of planets, the ice giants. While Jupiter and Saturn are mostly hydrogen and helium, Uranus contains much more water, ammonia, and methane ices. Studying Uranus helps scientists understand how different types of giant planets form and evolve. Clues about planetary formation. Sideways tilt 98 suggests that it may have been struck by a giant object early in its history. This gives scientists evidence about the chaotic and violent processes that shaped the early solar system. Its unusual tilt also affects its seasons and climate, making Uranus a natural laboratory for extreme planetary dynamics. Moons and potential oceans. The moons Titania, Oberon, and Ariel may have subsurface oceans beneath their icy crusts. This makes Uranus's moon system important for studying astrobiology, the possibility of life in hidden oceans on icy worlds. The diversity of Uranus's moons also provides insight into how satellite systems form around planets. Rings and small moons. Uranus's dark, narrow rings and shepherd moons help scientists understand how ring systems evolve by comparing them with Saturn's bright rings and Neptune's faint rings. Scientists can see different stages in ring evolution. Unusual magnetic field. Uranus's magnetic field is tilted and offset, very different from Earth's or Jupiter's. Studying it helps scientists learn about how magnetic fields work in planets with icy mantles, not molten metal cores. Since magnetic fields protect planets from harmful radiation, Uranus's unusual field provides a contrast to Earth's protective magnetosphere. Connection to exoplanets. Many exoplanets discovered outside our solar system are similar in size and composition to Uranus and Neptune. Understanding Uranus helps astronomers make sense of these distant worlds and estimate their atmospheres, climates, and potential habitability. Balance in the solar system. Uranus, as a massive planet, helps stabilize the outer solar system. Its gravitational influence affects smaller bodies, like asteroids and comets, shaping the dynamics of the outer solar system. Without Uranus and Neptune, the solar system might look very different today. Uranus is a key piece of the solar system puzzle. Its strange tilt, icy makeup, and unusual magnetic field make it essential for understanding not just our solar system's history, but also the thousands of similar ice giant planets across the galaxy. Its moons may even hide oceans, reminding us that life could exist in surprising places. Uranus, in mythology and culture. Uranus is not only a scientific wonder, but also a planet with deep roots in human imagination, mythology, and culture. Its name and symbolism link it to the ancient sky gods, while its discovery marked a turning point in modern astronomy. Origin of the name Uranus is named after the Greek god Uranus, Omicron, Rho Alpha, Nu G Sigma, the primordial god of the sky. In mythology, Uranus was the father of Saturn Cronus and the grandfather of Jupiter Zeus. This naming is unique because most planets are named after Roman gods. Uranus is the only planet in our solar system with a Greek mythological name. Role in Greek mythology. Uranus, the sky, was married to Gaia, the earth. Together, they produced the Titans, the Giants, and the Cyclopes. However, Uranus was a harsh father. Gaia and her son Cronus, Saturn, overthrew him, cutting him off from power. This myth symbolizes the eternal struggle between generations. In Greek mythology and the connection between sky, earth, and gods. Discovery in astronomy. Uranus was the first planet discovered with a telescope, discovered by William Herschel in 1781. It expanded humanity's view of the solar system beyond Saturn. At first, Herschel thought it was a comet, but later it was confirmed as a new planet. This discovery changed history, showing that the solar system was larger than previously thought. Cultural significance in astrology. Uranus is associated with innovation, rebellion, originality, and sudden change. Its extreme tilt and unusual nature symbolize breaking boundaries in literature and culture. Uranus's moons, named after Shakespearean characters, Titania, Oberon, Ariel, Miranda, etc., connect science with the arts. The discovery of Uranus inspired both scientists and artists of the 18th century, representing the Age of Enlightenment and humanity's growing knowledge of the universe. Modern pop culture. Uranus is sometimes referenced humorously because of its name's English pronunciation. It frequently appears in science fiction, novels, and space-related films as a mysterious, distant planet that humans might one day explore. In mythology, Uranus was the god of the sky, representing vastness and creation. In astronomy, Uranus was the first planet discovered with a telescope, symbolizing human progress and the expansion of knowledge. In culture, it embodies mystery, change, and imagination, bridging science with art and mythology. Fun and interesting facts about Uranus. Uranus may be far away and mysterious, but it is also one of the most unusual and fascinating planets in our solar system. From its sideways rotation to diamond rain, here are some of the most interesting facts. First planet discovered by telescope. Uranus was the first planet ever discovered with a telescope. Astronomer William Herschel spotted it in 1781. Before this, Only planets visible to the naked eye: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn were known since ancient times. The sideways planet Uranus is tilted on its side by 98. Unlike any other planet, it essentially rolls around the sun, leading to extreme seasons, where each pole experiences 42 years of sunlight, followed by 42 years of darkness. Coldest planet in the solar system despite being closer to the sun than Neptune. Uranus is sometimes the coldest planet. Average temperature, about 224 degrees Celsius, 371 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists think this may be due to Uranus releasing very little internal heat. Diamond rain deep inside Uranus. The pressure is so intense that carbon atoms may form diamonds. These diamonds could literally rain down through the icy mantle, a phenomenon also predicted on Neptune. Fast winds in Uranus's atmosphere can reach speeds of up to 900 kilometers per hour, 560 miles per hour. These supersonic winds shape the planet's clouds and weather systems, despite its faint sunlight. Moons with literary names, unlike other planets, whose moons are named after gods. Uranus's moons are named after characters from Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. Examples: Titania, Oberon, Ariel, Miranda, Umbriel. This gives Uranus a unique cultural connection between science and literature. A corkscrew-shaped magnetic tail. Uranus's magnetic field is tilted and offset, creating a twisted corkscrew-shaped tail that extends millions of kilometers into space. This was discovered by Voyager 2 in 1986. Faint. Dark rings. Uranus has 13 known rings, but they are very faint and dark compared to Saturn's bright ones. The Epsilon ring is the brightest and most prominent. A slow traveler around the Sun. Uranus takes 84 Earth years to complete one orbit. This means if someone were born on Uranus, they would experience only one birthday in their entire lifetime. Least explored giant planet only. Voyager 2 has visited Uranus 1986, making it the least studied of the giant planets. Future missions are highly anticipated to reveal its secrets, from diamond rain to its sideways tilt. Uranus is truly a planet of extremes and mysteries. It is the coldest planet, has winds faster than a hurricane, and moons named after famous literary characters. Despite being discovered over 240 years ago, Uranus remains one of the least understood planets, waiting for future missions to unlock its hidden wonders. Uranus is one of the most enigmatic and extraordinary planets in our solar system. As the seventh planet from the Sun, it stands apart with its unique sideways tilt, faint rings, and collection of moons named after literary characters. Despite being discovered over 2 centuries ago, Uranus remains one of the least explored worlds, holding on to many of its mysteries. Its basic facts already make it fascinating. An ice giant nearly 4 times the size of Earth, taking 84 years to orbit the Sun, and experiencing seasons lasting more than 4 decades each. Its structure and composition reveal a planet filled with icy materials, and possibly even diamond rain deep within its mantle. The magnetic field, tilted and off-centered, creates a twisted, corkscrew-shaped tail, unlike anything seen on other planets. Uranus's 27 moons, with diverse and sometimes bizarre surfaces, remind us that planetary systems can be as complex as miniature solar systems. Its rings, though faint, add elegance and scientific intrigue. From Voyager 2's brief flyby to modern telescope observations, Uranus has shown itself to be a planet of extremes, the coldest in the solar system, yet home to some of the fastest winds in mythology. Uranus represents the primordial sky, father of the Titans, connecting our scientific exploration with the human imagination of the cosmos. In culture, its discovery symbolized humanity's expanding vision beyond the known world, and in astronomy, Uranus is a gateway to understanding ice giants, the type of planet that may be most common across the galaxy. Yet, Uranus is also a reminder of how much we still don't know. With only one spacecraft ever visiting it, Uranus remains a world of unanswered questions. Does it hide oceans beneath its moons? What drives its strange magnetic field? Why does it emit so little heat compared to Neptune? Uranus is a world of mystery and wonder, standing quietly at the edge of our solar system, waiting for us to return. Future missions will one day unveil its secrets, but even now, Uranus challenges our imagination, inspires our curiosity, and reminds us that the universe is far greater and stranger than we ever dreamed.